The following program contains a reference to a sexual violence encounter. Listener discretion is advised.
Negligent retention.
Negligent retention.
So, how many of you know what that means? Stay with us because on today's show, Scott Warrick's back. And we're going to talk about negligent retention right here on the Human Resource. Scott, we always have you on for some of the best topics, but this one we've never talked about.
No, and I will tell you, it's a huge area of the law that nobody's thinking about. Negligent retention, and you got to make sure that you are providing a safe workplace.
Oh, they've all heard that.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah,
come
so-
on. Both of us have stressed the general duty clause.
Yeah. And OSHA has done a lot of stuff. Let me just give you an overview here. Let's talk about violence. Okay, that's probably one of the easiest ways to look at this, violence. And I will tell you, one of the biggest precursors for violence in the workplace is drug and alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
Huge. And the fatalities are out of this world. And the injuries to other employees and customers and clients. Let me give you an overview of the whole idea of negligence, because it's really not that difficult to grasp. We got a case years ago, and you'll never forget it. A. Able Rents. Okay, it was A. Able Rents was this great company where you would go buy a $500 TV and you'd get it, you'd rent it. And over the next several years, you'd pay it off. So you would end up spending $2,000 for this.
Oh, I remember those. Those. Yep.
Yeah. Rent to own. And
Rent to
okay.
own. That's it. Yep.
Well, A. Able Rents hired these two guys. And one of the bummers about driving and delivering stuff is you get really bored. So it really makes the day fly by when you smoke crack. So these guys are smoking crack and doing this stuff. One guy, when they get to Mrs. Stevens' home, they are so stoned. One guy can't even get out of the van. Okay, so he's like, you can handle it. Okay, so he's all high. The other guy goes up, knocks on the door. Mrs. Stevens answers the phone. He breaks in, attacks her, rapes her, and leaves her there. So it turns black real quick. Okay. An employer is not necessarily liable for the intentional acts of an employee. I mean, who would have known that this guy would go in there, beat her up, and rape her?
Okay. I agree.
Well, enter the negligence part. They didn't do any background checks on these guys at all. Nothing. And I always hear this from clients. Well, they always tell me the same thing. You gotta try. Okay. If you'd have just gone out to a public records report, you would have seen, and that's all public record, you would have seen these guys had convictions for assault and battery. So you kind of see the stage was set that this was not intentional. This was something the employees intentionally did, but you were negligent. You did not provide safety for your clients. Same thing applies to employees. If you'd have done anything like check a reference or done a background screen or done anything or a drug test, okay, you would have known this. And A. Able Rents lost big time. Well, that set the stage right there for negligent hiring and negligent retention.
And Scott, that's a big topic right now is the number of companies that don't want to do drug testing. They don't want to spend the money on background checks because they don't think anybody's going to pass.
Well, yeah. And there's a few things with drug testing. And drug testing is, and I'll tell you, this is one of those things. The state of Ohio is spending tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars a year in claims, workers' comp claims due to drugs and alcohol. It is out of control. Okay. And no one's going to come up and say in an interview, well, you taking any drugs? Well, yeah, I like to, I like to take heroin, and heroin makes me thirsty. So I drink a lot of bourbon. Nobody's going to say that. Okay.
Well, if they're smart, they're not going to say that.
Right. If they're smart, so, but you got to do something. And when everybody's like, okay, well, THC, pot, okay. Well, you can test for whatever you want to. But I can tell you right now, you got someone, and we've got this out of control here in many states. Fentanyl, crack is still big. Heroin is the cheapest you'd ever want to find. Cocaine, and I'm getting all these back on drug tests. You've got to do something, okay, to protect your workforce. Now, let's look at workplace violence, and let's switch over here because negligent hiring tells you everything you need to know about negligent retention. So if you hire somebody, and I'll tell you, your policy manuals, get me started on that. I have not seen a good handbook in 5 years. I haven't seen a legal handbook in 5 years. Okay. That complies with everything that you need to know in the law. Okay. And I'll tell you what we're talking right now with employment law. This is the action. Okay, you talk about divorce law out of control, and you talk about all this other stuff. It's nothing compared to employment law. And I love this because I've got a lot of hospitals and doctors' offices for clients. They are so afraid of malpractice. I'm like, oh, it's not your patients going to get you, it's your own people. The EEOC is 50 to 60,000 cases behind. I got an EEOC filing that we made in August of 2025. I just got a letter this week that they're going to process the paperwork.
Just process the paperwork, not schedule it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just letting us know, hey, we got it. So if you want to take care of your liability, you absolutely positively have to make sure that you are protecting your workforce. So what I do with my clients in every single handbook, if someone is arrested or convicted of any crime, misdemeanor, whatever, I need to know about that in 24 hours. Now, most of these handbooks say, well, we need to know, after conviction. Once you get arrested for being in a bar fight or domestic violence or something like this, that's a year down the road, 8 months down the road. In the meantime, you should be on notice that this person was arrested for a violent crime. I want to know about it. I want to know about it now. I want to bring that person in. I don't want to sit back. I want to say, hey, you tell me that you had this. Tell me the facts. Okay, tell me what's going on. And you got to determine if this person is dangerous. And I always send people out to get a psychological assessment. And under the Americans with Disabilities Act, I'm in compliance because I don't send them to get treatment. I'm not a psychologist, but I know weird when I see it.
Let's back up. Yeah, back up. Let's go back to the definition of violence. Because
violence. Okay.
I got a call the other day with an individual who is threatening suicide or says that they're trying to commit suicide. They come into the workplace, they're distracting everybody, they're talking, emotionally. Everybody's nervous around them, everybody's antsy around them. And then I get an email today saying, well, I just know he's got a firearm. No, you don't know unless you've seen it. Tell me if you've seen it, then why are you just now telling me that you see a firearm in the workplace?
Yeah. I'm going to go right to OSHA. I'm going to combine OSHA with harassment and bullying.
Okay.
And we can send this out to your listeners, anybody that wants it. But what is workplace violence? And this is what you got to be watching for. So first of all, I want to know if anybody's been arrested so I can see if they pose a threat. Mm-hmm. But this should be in every single policy manual. Any actual or threatened physical, verbal, or nonverbal abuse occurring either inside or outside the organization that can create an internal atmosphere where management believes, so it's subjective,
Okay.
the reasonable person in the community would feel intimidated or threatened. Now, let me just say that again so everybody's got it. And any actual or threatened physical, verbal, or nonverbal abuse occurring inside or outside of the organization that can create an internal atmosphere where management believes the reasonable person in the community would feel intimidated or threatened. You kick a trash can across the room. We're going to have a talk. We're going to have a coaching. That's workplace violence. Screaming and yelling at Helen in accounting. That's workplace violence. I want to talk to you. We're going to find out what's happening. And somebody coming in threatening suicide. Suicide is violence turned inward. Homicide is violence turned outward. So if I've got somebody talking about suicide and all this other stuff, I'll tell you, I'm going to talk to that person. I'm going to bring him in and I'm going to just say, hey, what's going on? Tell me what's happening. And I'm going to maybe send them to be assessed. You would pay for that, but it beats a workplace violence. We have 36 to 38,000 physical acts of violence in American workplaces every week.
And
that's a lot of trips to the emergency room.
And Scott, it's not just the employee. A lot of this is happening at the management level. And God forbid your supervisors are doing this, but I mean, I've even got owners that have kicked filing cabinets and pounded down on the conference table.
Yeah, pounding. That's one thing. Screaming and yelling. I mean, here's the logic. It takes a while to go from calm to upset to angry to enraged. It takes a millisecond to go from enraged to where I smack you in the head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'll tell you, you have just brought up Andre Bing from Walmart.
Oh, tell us about Andre.
Andre, he was a supervisor at Walmart. You might remember him from about 4 or 5 years ago at Walmart in Virginia. Everybody thought that, oh my God, this guy's off the wall. He's threatening people. He would cover up his he'd cover up the phone, the camera on his phone, because he said the government was watching him. He was condescending. One person, he told one person, if they ever fire him, I'm going to come back and kill everybody.
Oh, ding, 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 ding.
Right. Walmart did nothing. Now, freeze right there. Common sense said, well, he's dangerous. I know. I'm not a psychologist, but I know weird when I see it, and that's weird. And so I'm going to sit down with Andre and say, hey, what's going on, buddy? What's happening? I mean, this is not good behavior. I would have sent Mr. Bing to go get assessed, so I'm in compliance with the ADA. And I'll tell you right now, he is not coming back to work until I get he is no more dangerous than the average person in the general community. Okay, that's great. Until I get that, you ain't coming back. Well, nobody's doing anything. He shows up and shoots and kills 4 or 5 people and then kills himself. Now, first of all, you got these bodies laying everywhere. Yeah, it was 5 people that he shot and killed, people who reported to him. And $200 million in lawsuits to settle them. Now, $200 million sounds like a lot of money, but those are 5 bodies. Okay. Now let's just say he went in and he just threw his phone at somebody and cocked him right in the head. All of this behavior shows that you in management should have been on top of it. I don't care what his race is. I don't care what his religion is.
Agreed.
Would the reasonable person in the community believe that he could have done this? And afterwards, they're talking to everybody, and they said, oh, yeah, I thought for sure he was going to do that one day.
And this is what scares me, is that so many, and I know some of my listeners right now, some of you out there know of individuals, you're already thinking about individuals in your workplace who have demonstrated that they're extremely emotional, that they are, what do we call them? Children. What kind of children?
Emotional children.
Emotional children, yes. And what are you doing about it? And let me go back to the term of the supervisor. If you've got supervisors that cannot contain their emotion, and that's their style, that's their way of management and leading and running their department is with that kind of management technique, or if you want to call it that, I mean, that kind of behavior, get him out of there, grab them by the back of the neck and get them out of a supervisory, any kind of position where they're working with people. Because it's just scary to think that some companies are afraid, well, that is the COO, or that is the owner's son, or that's somebody that's not touchable. Well, in today's world, Scott, I think you're trying to send a different message, aren't you?
Absolutely. And I will tell you, the mental health, the brain health of our society is in the toilet. I'm just finishing up a book by Dr. Jonathan Haidt, Haidt, of New York University, called The Anxious Generation. And it is a must read or listen to. Okay. And I liked the book so much on audio, I bought it hard copy to cite to it. He has a lot of great explanations as to exactly why our fears are going up, why, 80% of pretty much everybody out there with health insurance and prescription coverage is on some kind of psychiatric medication, and more power to them. They're trying to get some help. But I will tell you, when you see someone who is making these threats or losing their temper, it's not normal to go from 0 to 60 with your temper all the time. That's not normal. And so we've got to start looking out for these people. Because first of all, you're going to scare your workforce to death. So why in God's name would they work for you? And second, think of it this way. Well, what are the chances that they're going to show up and actually shoot somebody? Well, actually, the chances aren't that bad, but it's a consequence of error. And what are the chances they'll put a stapler in your head? Well, we get about 36,000, 38,000 a week.
That's the point. It's not the gun. Stop falling back onto the worst case scenario. I mean, they could blow the place up too. Maybe that's worst case scenario, but just any sort of violence, any sort of over emotion, demonstration or display of this heightened emotion is disruptive to your workforce. And literally that is a negligent retention, evidence of.
That is it. And I will tell you, the more afraid you are of somebody, the more you got to intercede. We don't want to protect our own. We want to correct our own. We got to look at conflict completely different. We got to look at dealing with these situations that, no, I'm not here to hurt you. I'm here to help you. I'm really concerned about you.
Yeah.
And maybe Andre Bing, which I'm quite sure a psychologist would have had a field day with that guy, but this guy needs help. Something's wrong with this guy. And I will tell you right now, there are millions and millions of Americans walking around today who are about to snap.
And let me just remind our viewers here, remember, Walmart's not a small company. And we have talked about this over and over again. Even the big boys, even the big corporations are making these kind of mistakes. So learn from what we're trying to provide for you. It doesn't matter whether you've got 2 employees or 2,000 employees. These rules are the same across the board. We're all responsible for providing a safe and secure workplace. Take Scott's advice. Be proactive and address it when you see it. Scott, thank you. Thank you so much. You're sticking with me, though, for one more show, correct?
Oh, can't wait. Absolutely.
All right.
Talking about pros.
All right. Next week, you will see Scott back right here at the Human Resource.